Twitch. As usual, this is Partners Expose. We are going to be doing the last bit of episode 3 today because we finished short last time because of technical difficulties, which will hopefully not plague us again. And we'll go on to episode 4. With me, as usual, is Peter and Ryan. Say hello.
Hey.
Howdy.
We're going to have to refresh our own memories about what happened last week, so I'm going to pull up the file. We were investigating the strange death of Megan Carlisle, who was a singer from the 90s who was getting her career back on track, and then she mysteriously died just before her big break again of having her song being made the state rock and roll song of I forgot the state, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Our suspects included Bill Crawley, who was her lawyer, Lucy Richardson, who was her agent, James Fry, her long-suffering guitarist, and Ruth Carlisle, her daughter, who was a nurse. We're going to just go through the scenes and remind us of what happened. And for this episode, Jackie was joined by Anthony, who is her boss's public relations and advertising expert, who is encouraging her to make this movie because it's a good public relations story. And they were having an argument about how much people lie and how much we want to see the surface. I think Anthony was generally suggesting that Jackie was too simplistic in her view of people, or too naive. Whereas he was like, everyone lies. I never told you about my drug history in Arizona.
And Bill is also an old boyfriend.
Yep.
Of
That's
Anthony,
right.
so this is what Anthony perceives as being the evidence for his assertions.
That's right. Yes. The more that it shows that Bill has been hiding secrets is more proof that Anthony is the best judge of character of the two. First scene, we found out that Lucy was lying about when the time of death, or the chronology. That she was supposed to be on the phone to the governor, but the phone call had already finished, and we had an idea that Lucy was also in charge of lots and lots of things of her life, of Megan's life. Then we found out somebody accused James. Who was it? It was Lucy, I think. No, it was Bill. That's right. We went to see the lawyer, and he said that it was probably James who killed her, the guitarist. And we learnt that they had worked together a long time. And he in turn said it was probably Bill. But the legal contract is set up so that the will is set up that James will inherit the musical rights from Megan, which we found out later from Bill as well. We went to Bill and he revealed us, I think, that the contract has James's fingerprints all over it, metaphorically. And no matter, unless he's literally her killer, then he's going to get everything, and that's certainly a motive for murder. Then we found out that Lucy was at Megan's apartment the night before she died, and they had a massive screaming match outside the building that is on the records, on the cameras, and they obviously had a very fraught relationship. Then we found out that Bill was claiming to be her loyal and trusting lawyer, but in the past he tried to sort of hand her off to other people because she wasn't famous enough for him and his shiny new firm. And he also has the autobiography that Megan was writing, and Anthony just nicked that while Bill was looking the other direction, which was useful. And that's when we found out that, well, we knew that Bill used to take a few drugs with Anthony back in their teenage rebellion years, and so then they went to see the old weird band guy, rock and roller, who used to supply both of them with drugs. And he said, Bill's bad news, and he's still heavily addicted to painkillers now. He's moved on to those. And so he was rapidly becoming our prime suspect. And we got the poison for Bill. Oh, that was the poison. Yep. He's bad news. He's heavily addicted. Then Ruth turned up, Megan's daughter, and we noticed that she was also a drug addict and seemed to wanting to avoid attention of the paparazzi and find out something more about her mother. And the last scene, we went to a soccer match because James Fry was taking his son there to watch it. Watch or play? I don't remember.
He was playing. The son was playing.
The son was playing, yep. And he revealed that he had divorced his wife and had limited contact with his son, and he blamed Megan for that. But her punishing schedule had separated the two of them, and so we had a poison moment now for Bill and for James, and we just drew a poison moment for. Do we have this scene?
No.
Yeah. So we've got a scene coming up now where we're going to find out what Lucy's poison moment is. And we have a word, and we drew a 3. It looks like you've written there.
Yep.
So what type of evidence is number 3? Is it other physical evidence? No, it's fingerprints, isn't it? Fingerprints and DNA. I can find the page. Extreme page-turning excitement. The most important table in the whole game. Yep, fingerprints or DNA. So, if you'll turn to page 58 in your book. So what we might get you to, Ryan, to do is you can play Lucy in this scene.
Excellent.
If you like.
Yes.
And Peter's going to start us off because he's the primary on this scene with something he wants to know, and then there'll be some way that I'll be able to solve the problem that stops him from finding that information.
We do really need to know whether Lucy was at the scene of the crime at the time it occurred.
Yep.
Was that shouting match enough for her to let off steam, or did she come back again? The problem is that she is very, very cagey about her movements.
Yep.
Like all the secure stuff on her phone, the important people she feels she represents.
I think last time I wasn't distracting the security guard to get the tapes.
I think that's how we got we found
video.
that Lucy was shouting up at the balcony. But of course, there are other ways that I've worked enough stakeouts to know that there's always a back door. One camera isn't enough.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, I will see if I can find our friend the security guard and get him to let us in the back door. What's our word? Our word is integration. So I'm going to talk to him about how everything is about vertical integration these days. And there's going to be, obviously we're still going to pursue the book and the TV show, the movie about Megan, and, someone who would be part of this vertical integration of like both the narrative and the product narrative would be someone who spent a lot of time, in physical proximity to her. So we really like to, get him to write his own book. And all the while I'm just sort of like, kicking the door open behind me so that Jackie can run in.
I mean, he's a security guard, so he's going to be paying a little bit of attention to what you're doing. Notices a bit of a nudge, but he's not quite looking for confrontation. And you guys have gotten along all right before, so he's just going to question you. Having a good stretch there, are you, friend?
Look. What I'm doing is I'm actually going to. What we'd really like to do is, of course, is for you to take us up and show us around about how secure this apartment is, and how no one could have ever gotten in, with you on guard and everything. And we can get some what we call B-roll footage, which is very important. Of you doing your
B-roll
job.
footage, found footage, they're both very important.
Yeah, you can just walk up and down and shine your torch. And it'll look really good.
And I'll hand off the camera to Anthony.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I really shouldn't. So, look, as you make me, I'll make you a deal, right? I'll pull my cap down a bit. They don't see my face. I'll give you your B-roll, but you don't go anywhere I can't see you. Okay?
Yep, absolutely. No, we're not here to get anyone into any trouble.
All right.
What we're here to is to make people famous. That's what we're in the business of.
No, of course. So he'll open the door to let you both through.
Yep.
He'll close it behind you and lock it so no one can get up while he's not at the door.
Oh, right. We might have to find out another way out.
Dun,
all right.
Dun, dun.
Let me have a think about. I'm going to say that there's we go into the room and there's actually blood there, and we know that we believe, we were told that there were no marks on the body, so it's possibly not Megan's blood. There's blood in the bathroom. It looks like somebody tried to clean something up.
I think probably what it's being cleaned up with is a scarf.
Ooh, lovely.
And it looks very much like Lucy's, the kind of thing that Lucy would wear.
Yep.
So that's very suggestive that something about their confrontation became physical.
Yep. And I'll flip through the manuscript and go, this isn't the first time these two have fought, right? There's a lot of stories in here about it keeps coming back to, but we were great friends. But then there's and then we were in Berlin one time and I broke a bottle over Lucy's head. So
I'm not quite sure how Megan thought that Lucy was going to let that get into the final printed edition.
Well, maybe that's why they were fighting. Maybe Lucy was just not happy about. Yeah, I mean,
it would be something you might want to cover up.
That's right. Nobody else seems to come off badly in the book. There's a lot of praise for James. There's apologies to Ruth. The Bill's barely mentioned, but it definitely doesn't make Lucy look like the greatest person on earth. That's for sure. Right. Next scene, I think. Sorry, there was no Lucy to talk to in that scene. We're going to need a card from the deck. And a random.
Okay, I have the King of Clubs.
Right. King of Clubs. A king is an accusation.
Bill.
A king is a confession. Okay. And the club is. That is Bill. Okay. So this will be the fruit. Now, the way, for those who don't know, Partners determines who committed the crime by the fruit element that occurs most near the end of the scene. So, although Bill is confessing here, if the next scene is Lucy's or James's fruit, then they will actually be the real killer, and Bill will be a red herring, and we won't know until we get there. So, I'm going to get a random word. Or maybe go and have a talk about Bill and my past. That's a random playing card. That's not what I need. So yes, we established that Bill and I had a relationship. Bill was like, "Oh, we had a lot of fun," and then we broke up. And I was like, "He broke my heart. He lied to me. He went off to become a fancy lawyer, and we were going to be a rock and roll band or something." Oh, the word is menu. Interesting. Oh, sorry, you had a word already.
No, that's right. It's yours. It's your scene.
Yeah. Okay. So, now that we know that there's issues with the book and there's issues about possibly the inheritance to James, I think we're going to go back and talk to Bill. And we find him at a fancy restaurant, one of those places where the menu is the size of like an A2 piece of cardboard. And I think I'm just going to be sneaking, making just like a snide remarks about, "Oh, I'm surprised you're having the extra oil on your salad there, Bill. That's if you think you should be watching your weight or something," and just absolutely derailing your attempt to get information out of Bill. But maybe also distracting him so that he lets his guard down or something. But I don't know what he's going to confess.
I think Jacqueline grabs his jacket off. Maybe it's on the back of his chair. Yeah. And she rifles through the pockets and slaps down what she finds with a bang on the table. It's pills. It's his. This is your after dinner refreshment, is it? Yep.
Which was lost stunned silence. I wasn't quite expecting this turn of events.
What? Spill.
You can jump in as Bill as if you want, Ryan, or
those. Well, I mean, if I've carried these around. They're prescription painkillers. It's just the label wears off because I, refill the bottle.
Because you sweat so much when you come to take them.
Yeah. No. It's I got to grab it a couple times every day just to help me get around.
So where's the chronic pain? Is it in your ankle? She kicks his ankle under the table.
No, it's
Is it in your knee?
Oh, it's no. No, it's I've got a. Well, if you let me go, I've got back in my car. I've got it's my back. I got a certificate. I can just go get that now.
You know what? I think I can make out the label on this bottle. It says Megan.
Oh, I see. That tracks. You never have to. You never wanted to pay for anything in your whole life. So you're using your client to get meds, and she found out about it. Was it going to be in the book? I haven't got to the end yet. It's a very good read, though.
It's no. That's you're jumping to in insane conclusions there. I wasn't taking advantage of any client like that. She was just giving them out basically. But like a doctor, it like came to a doctor. He's realized he's accidentally pointed out that maybe she was working with more than just him in terms of
that's right. She was
medication.
And
Megan
was there and so what happened, Bill? Sudden drop in sales?
It's not so much it's a creative dry spot. You understand? Sometimes it's hard to get what people want to hear. They're always after something a little more. It's an industry term, but visceral. I'm sure, but that's
So she scratches your back with the pills, and you scratch her back with your excellent lawyering.
Yes.
Yeah, but
people.
It's not that simple.
Well, these things never are. But don't leave town. We're going to be coming back to talk to you once we just check out exactly what's in these pills. See if they're in the things. If they're the thing that killed Megan.
No, of course not. Of course not.
All right. One more scene.
Okay. Let's have a random word. A random word is routine.
Aha. Excellent.
And do you want to draw the card?
Sure. I've drawn the Queen of Spades, which is an accusation, and our spades is
Ruth.
That's Ruth. Okay, so that means Bill did it, and Ruth may have the final clue. So you're setting us up. So yeah, that means Bill did it. All right.
Okay, so we catch up with Ruth at the hospital, and she is in the middle of a shift, but I think she recognizes us, and she manages to take a minute to stand at the nurse's station rather than be bombing back in and out of the rooms. And we ask her about her mother's drugs, the painkillers, and like what she knows about them. Like, did she get them prescribed here at this hospital? What? And I'm guessing Ruth is wanting to deflect or avoid some being part of this responsibility, because obviously if it happened at her place of work, then she doesn't get to walk away with clean hands.
No, it's like a lot of people come through hospitals and Mum came through a few times and gets to know doctors who've moved on but stay in touch, and I think it was just there was some questionable people out there that took advantage of her. She was always working hard to please people and make their lives better, and just didn't always take the right way around it. And she'll sort of scratch her arms a little as she's talking.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think from what I've read in this book anyway, Megan was always trying to make other people happy, and sometimes she didn't draw very good boundaries, and she took advantage of herself. But we need to know it seems like she wasn't just taking; she was dealing. We didn't draw what type of evidence, did we? Hang on. Oh, accusation. That's right. So I'm guessing basically. I don't know if she's like. She says something about like, Mum could have never have like found all those clients or anything. I won't know.
So, yeah,
It was, she always said that Bill just would help with all of that stuff.
she wasn't. She was lovely, but she was easily led astray, and it's that Bill just, always had a way of getting you to do exactly what he wanted. And it was, I could tell from the start it wasn't good for her.
Okay. So she
Yeah.
sounds like she wasn't doing this for money. She was genuinely trying to. Well, she thought she was helping people by giving them a pill or two around, but Bill was doing the gaining financially and not really letting on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I think I'm going to. Yeah, I'll be like, that's why. Like he was talking about like his firm was growing and growing, but he had his own. That was a really fancy restaurant we just saw him at in a very, very fancy car. I think Bill was a drug dealer to the stars. And then it was all going to come out. There was just enough hints. I'm actually reading back in the book. It's just enough hints here where she talks over and over about the drug trade that if this had become a big hit because of her being famous again, someone would have started to put all the clues together and gone back through like, well, where are all the drugs going in this part of Arizona? And I think Bill would have gone to prison. And that's probably where he's going now.
Dun, dun.
So I think what happened was Bill was there to coax Megan into giving up more of her drugs, but she really felt she needed them to go on her comeback tour, and then they argued. Bill ended up getting punched in the nose, which is where the blood came from.
Yep.
And then
he
just cleaned up with what was there.
Perfect.
And in a rage and wanting to just shut off he can edit the autobiography however he likes because he's got the copy. So he disposes of Megan by throwing her over the balcony.
Yep. And then she had enough drugs in her system that everyone just assumed it was an accident.
Yep.
Very nice. All right. Well, I'm going to be very smug and say, as the police hoil him, I think I told you, everyone lies, and my ex-boyfriends who dumped me are scum. That's what we've learned today.
But sometimes people lie because they want to help. Whether or not it's a good thing, some people do it with the best of intentions.
That's very true. And that's our final our clincher for the episode, and we'll roll credits, roll our theme tune,
and we shall call the episode All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun.
Sure. Yep, that's good. Nice. Very nice. Do we have a theme song for our show? Did we actually get to that? I think we were talking about it, but we don't think we have one. We should get one.
We can let's think about that.
Yep. All right. I'll think about that while we set up for episode 4. Anthony's going to report back that things went well in Arizona. There's going to be an interesting documentary. They're now going to make basically a series of celebrities of the Southwest, and casino performers. So there'll be a theme running through it, and it'll be it'll be a Netflix thing where because documentaries are so big, it'll just be a series of character portrayals, and with a sort of hard luck vibe to it. All right, we need another body, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to our book and see what's happening in episode 4. Who has been killed? Let's have a card. You want to draw, Patrick? Peter?
Sure, the 6 of Hearts.
6 of Hearts, right. That is someone who works in the service industries. So, nursing, feeding people, waitressing, who knows, and they were killed with another card, please.
The 6 of Diamonds.
6 of Diamonds. They were choked. All right. And then a random word from both of you. And it's a male person, I should say.
Okay.
A male waiter was choked to death.
I have SA.
And I have Serpentine.
All right. What does the scene of the crime look like? What was?
How about a comedy club?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yep.
And this can be the sound tech.
Oh, what was the suit you got for the second card?
It was a diamond.
I forgot to look at whether they were successful or not. Oh no, it was the first card. The first card, which was the 6 of
Hearts.
6 of Hearts. Yeah, so they were okay. They were successful. So we said more than a waiter. They were the manager of a comedy club in a big casino city, and yeah. And who knows? Maybe somebody killed to get their 5-minute slot on the stage at the Chuckle Hut.
Chuckle Hut.
All right.
Okay, he is Howard Hayes.
Howard Hayes is the manager of the Chuckle Hut, and he's been choked to death. Choked on his last laugh.
Found dead at the Chuckle Hut.
All right, let's get some suspects. All right, our first suspect is his sibling, a male sibling, so that would be a brother, Steve, and they have a negative relationship on the surface. And the motive is ambition.
Mm.
All right.
And occupation?
Oh, yep. Hang on. Occupation is a celebrity of some sort. Trying to get into comedy. Yep.
Oh, man.
It's all adding up. Our next suspect is a child. So Howard's Howard's daughter. Also a negative relationship on the surface. And the motive there is a mistake of some sort. And her profession is a politician.
It's an interesting family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Celebrity, manager. Yeah, look, we're mixing with fancy people. That's 2. Our heart suspect. All right, let's cut this deck again. Whoops. Is a lover. And it's a female lover. also with a negative relationship on the surface. A lot of poorly liked people.
Comedy is going really well.
Yeah. And her career, her occupation is also a celebrity of some sort. Mixing with the fancy. She was probably a comedian as well, then I'm going to think. LaShawn Moore, right? And then finally, our
Okay,
last-
what was her motive?
Oh, sorry, I skipped that. Her motive is loyalty.
Hmm.
And finally, we have a rival, a male rival with a positive relationship. So maybe a friendly rivalry of another comedy club. And their motive is cover up. Yeah, we'll go with another comedy club owner of the the Giggle Pit. Nice. Chuckle Hut and the Giggle Pit have been rivals for years, going all the way back to the 80s. I've also had some people interested in being guest stars, which is exciting.
Ooh.
So, possible cover up, great loyalty, ambition. Yeah, now, we can also have a little bit of drama. Does anybody want to have a side issue this episode, or should we keep it shorter?
If we're going to try and finish the whole thing now, probably short is better. But if we're going to
Let's
do half now and half next time, then we can probably fit it in.
I wonder whether it's something the thing Lawrence was doing last episode is the thing that we've got the issue about.
Ooh.
Right. Yep. So we might find out a little bit more what Lawrence was doing and have a chat about that. That sounds good. Where was Lawrence last episode? Climbing a mountain or something. Right. Let's find out what our first scene's going to involve. We've got a dead comedy club owner. And our very first scene is going to involve draw a card. Physical evidence that isn't fingerprints or DNA. So blood splatter, skin cells, hair, semen, or just, this was obviously strangled by a left-handed person.
And which suspect are we talking about?
It was, I can't remember. I just put it back in the deck. All right, I'll split the deck again, and it was a heart. So that is LaShawn Moore. I'm going to find out what sort of celebrity LaShawn was by looking at random words. She was a magician.
Ooh.
So are we in Vegas here, or at least in Reno?
I'm thinking Vegas, Reno, something like it.
Yeah. Give me a random word for this. Okay. I got true, all in capitals.
Ooh.
Don't know why. Don't know why it's all in capitals. Nothing else in the random word generator is in capitals, but this time it just went, yeah, you can
Must
have
be
capitals.
based on the corpus it's drawing from.
Yeah. But there we go. True. So as we see, we come in, having heard that, somebody's passed and that it's yet another deep dive, a deep den of, wretched Hyverskull and villainy we've got to investigate. Get more information for this sweet documentary we're doing, and we can see that LaShawn sort of sitting in the corner, looking mopey and sort of dejected, but very clear that there's no actual tears when you look closer, which is a bit odd. Like, why? What's going on? So Lawrence, he wants to barge his way over and ignore whatever else is going on and just saddle him up and say, "Hey, cheer up." Everybody sort of kicks it eventually. We can't all have a stranglehold on life. Oh, which is not received particularly well. For
Comedy.
some reason.
Open mic nights tomorrow, honey. And for your information, he was not strangled. He choked on a peach stone.
Oh. Suspicious and random.
Hopefully.
So I would kindly take your what passes for comedy.
Ouch.
Your truth bombs, get them out of here.
Hey, no, we're just trying to help, but that's fine. I can tell when my boundless talent isn't needed.
Everyone's got an angle.
Not me.
When you're ready to tell me what's yours, just.
Buddy, I'm a circle, and he will stand up and walk away.
And I think at this point, she spots Jack, and seeing there's a camera doesn't necessarily connect that Lawrence and Jack are a duo, but like kind of warms up and does her puts on her public relations persona, and Jack's able to get it's a tragedy. We all loved him. I was very close to him. He'll be missed. And there's that little. It's not completely insincere. Like, it's clear that they were close, but there's something forced in what she's saying.
Right. So goes into a routine. Oh. And we established that she was there. I think we also just established that. Knows a bit more about his death. Was she implying it was an accident, or was she leaving it vague?
Leaving it vague. She just points out he choked on a peach seed.
Yeah. Excellent.
Touchdown.
All right. So she was clearly close to the victim, but somehow, forcing the emotion. All right. For our next scene, I've drawn the 8 of clubs, which is LaShawn again.
Clubs makes it the brother.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Yes, it does. It makes it Victor. And his alibi is going to fail.
Ooh.
So he's going to have an alibi, and then something about his statement will reveal to be false.
Okay, and the word is spokesperson.
Oh, actually, I'll find out what kind of celebrity he is as well. Let me get a random word to inspire me. Say spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really good for a celebrity. Yeah, he is a race car driver,
Ooh.
and he's doing well, he was a race car driver. He's now promoting Valvoline or something. Do the Americans even have Valvoline? Do they know what we mean? Some sort of amazing oil. When I was on the track, I needed my great team and Valvoline. It's a special grease that I can not only put in my car, but
Yeah,
in my hair.
Valvoline's headquartered in Kentucky, so you're very safe there.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right.
Okay, so I reckon
I've
that
played.
as after talking to LaShawn, then Victor's like stepped in as I'm going to hold the fort until someone else who might be better in charge is here. So he kind of inserts himself and a little bit of charm and saying he came so quickly after the after he heard and generally just wanting to reminisce, but there's something not quite right, and Jack can't quite find the right question to pierce what's going on.
And that's all right, because Lawrence is nothing if not a heavy blunt object, the best thing for piercing. So he's just going to saddle up and go, came so fast. How'd you hear so quickly? Where were you? What brings you here so suddenly? Like, oh, it's a tragedy, but surely you were busy, weren't you?
Oh, it's the off season.
The off season? So you're not... Well, I didn't expect you were racing, but what do you do during your off season? I mean, like, do you just hang around here?
He doesn't need me here.
He doesn't need
He might be my younger brother, but he doesn't... I don't need to look after him anymore. And he kind of realizes what he's saying and chokes up a little.
But I was also somehow very close by. Nice.
Yeah.
So he's his younger brother. Howard was the younger.
Yep.
Okay. Did Victor? So Victor maybe was keeping tabs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, never too far away. So it's like, he's trying to tell us, like, it was just, quick thinking, and I got the news straight away and came as fast as I could. But possibly, like, he wasn't actually really doing anything else. He was specifically waiting around, just keeping an eye, because he knows his brother's gotten into trouble before. Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is the NASCAR is all over the US, including one track in Las Vegas. So we might find out a little more about what he thinks he was doing.
Yeah. All right. I've drawn a 4 of hearts for our next card.
That's LaShawn again.
So 4 is more physical evidence, and that's more LaShawn. Yeah. You guys keep going. I'm going to get a coat.
Okay. Let's have a random word. It's going to be surround.
Surround. Right, so yes, as LaShawn sort of left the room to try and get some distance, which is why Victor stepped up. But as she's heading out the back, Lawrence notices like, hey, hang on a second, she's not like leaving the building. She's going into like a back room or something, and he thinks that's definitely something worth like keeping an eye on, being sneaky and subtle. So he will like very obviously gesture the direction she's heading in to Jack and so maybe we go see what's over there. Oh, hey, Vic, yeah, ignore that.
Oh, behind the scenes footage. Excellent idea.
Yeah. So don't you worry. I'll chat to old boy here, and you get just the lay of the land, you know.
So,
So Victor,
so
tell me about your tortured childhood. Mm.
as it's a full service club, so as well as there being backstage areas that just are like for the stage and like the sound and lighting, there is also full kitchen and bar, and that's actually where LaShawn has gone into the kitchen, which the cook is not very impressed with, but Jack notices that LaShawn's holding a plate on which are bits of, well, it looks like peach to her.
Ooh.
And
Right.
and Jack turns the camera on it, and LaShawn turns around and zooms right in on the and LaShawn is obviously feels like she's got to provide an explanation.
Yeah.
What
It's
what should that be?
she's it's like tragic that he choked, but like we don't let things go to waste around here. He put his everything into this club, and it's just like I don't know, maybe a way to feel close to my brother, in this. So father, no, lover. Oh, close to him. Ooh, that's right. Oh yeah, just feel closer to him, and a time without him, and this is like the one part we see like maybe real tear coming,
Mhm.
just one, but she's sort of
So it sounds like kind of eating fruit together decadently might have been part one of their kind of rituals.
yeah.
Right. So there is something that bonds them together. But maybe that's the thing that eventually became poison. Who is she loyal to? Maybe she was loyal to him. Right. Do we want to have a little interim scene
Mhm.
and
Yes.
find out where Lawrence was during the week?
So during the week, those who have heard the first episode might know that Lawrence had a little stint of waving a gun at a bunch of people. So he was brought in for a dressing down from the police in connection to his wildly reckless and generally endangering the public antics. And
Right.
these are the police who work closely with the casinos and stuff, so maybe they're not all the most above the board members of the
So
force.
did you spend a night in the lockup?
Oh, look, I don't really want to talk. The things I've seen and the things I've felt, like I just don't know if I have it in me. No, it's fine. Like because I've been through rehab and stuff, so but like, it was a tiny room, and like the food service was atrocious, and I
Oh,
like
I
got
would
nothing
have
nice
thought
to
you'd
say
look
about the
great in
staff.
orange.
Well, no, that was the great thing is that like they let me keep all my clothes. They basically just chucked me in and said we'll be back for questioning, and they didn't come back for a long time. But no, what's a day between moments of freedom,
Look,
right?
you've got to be more careful. It's one thing when the police pick you up and everyone knows they're corrupt. There are countries like that,
It's look,
but not everyone knows that the government here is corrupt. If you want to work with me, you're going to need to be at least marginally respectable.
yeah, look, no, I did, and don't worry, I came out of it all okay. Long as they didn't. I didn't get charged with anything. I was just brought in for questioning. You don't have to worry about me. I can take care of myself.
And did you call a lawyer?
What? No. Blood-sucking vampires. Who needs a lawyer when you've got
Do you
charm?
know the saying about the person who represents himself?
Yeah, he's a damn hero.
No, he has a fool for a client.
Well, look, I think the important thing is that I got off more or less scot-free, and
More or less.
well, more or less, right?
Okay, so they won't be giving you a concealed carry permit anytime soon.
I wouldn't even think of applying for one, so anymore.
Unarmed into the future, at least legally unarmed. Our next card was the Ace of Hearts, which is little Sean again, so she's going to seem super suspicious. Financial details or phone records. I do like an early misdirect.
So I suppose, oh no, wait, no, this is a Jack one. No, you're off. What's your word?
Let me have a look.
What's your word?
Scramble. So, now the police have obviously been. They've done their thing. They've taken the body. They obviously feel like they've got the evidence they need. So there's nothing stopping us from poking our noses around. So, LaShawn has done her thing in the kitchen, and I think we've embarrassed her enough that we have the run of the place until we do something worse. Which is ironic given how Jack's just been dressing down Lawrence. So Jack finds the office / back room where Howard ran the place from, but it's locked up, and it's clear that if there are any incriminating documents or records, this is where they're going to be. There are going to be notebooks, or maybe there's a last number called on the phone, but rattle, 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 can't get in.
No, well, that's all right, because Lawrence is a man of many skills. Looks around and sees that no one's quite looking, and he'll reach into his pocket and pull out a paperclip. And so, see, the great thing about locks is that it's very easy. He'll start unfolding and sort of bending it into a shape and line it up very carefully. And the thing about locks is that they're shockingly fragile when you know just what to do. And then he'll drop it, and he'll raise his hands up and smash down on the handle to crack it inside, knock the door handle loose, and the door will gently swing open. And he will start nursing the rapidly growing bruise on the underside of his hands. So it's easy, Jack. You just gotta put a little bit of zazz into your step.
Next time you use your foot.
Yeah.
Or a gun.
No, please no.
Ooh.
So, we go into the office, and it's clear the office has been. Someone's come in here and done a big pull everything out and look through it. Unless he was,
right.
unless Howard was a very, very messy person.
Which is
So-
possible.
Alright, so
But we go through the document. Start going through the pile, and notes start to appear from women who are not LaShawn, and they're rather provocative.
Ooh.
It's not clear whether Howard was returning their affections, but certainly they were offers on the table.
right.
wanted-
Yes, well, as comedians who need a break, that's for sure.
It's not clear if anything untoward did happen, but if LaShawn found any of these notes, that could easily have
Yeah.
provoked something.
Yeah, I mean, like Lawrence will sort of leaf through them and, that's bring the. This is the kind of
that's a
stuff
close-up.
that gets people watching. Like you've seen
The
TV these days.
entertainers.
Zoom in on this part here and that part there. And, definitely. on
We'll
that.
have to blur the names out, I think.
Yeah, oh, of course, a matter of respect. And he'll sort of pull out his phone and just start tapping away. Respect. No need to record any of these names.
All right. Well, exciting news, because this all seems pretty straightforward. She killed her husband in a jealous rage, or her lover in a jealous rage, and it would all be very simple, except another body has turned up,
Every time.
and this time it's something to do with Victor.
And our random word is cancer. Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no. That's not good.
Is the other body actually Victor?
Yeah, I suppose.
It could be, but and he can still be a suspect and still have done the crime. Yeah.
So that's but Lawrence.
Yes, but they're going through the saved messages and stuff, and he notices one that's got a picture of Victor looking very unwell, sort of run down, haggard, bald, and just saying to his brother it's been getting worse. There's only so much makeup in a wig can do. I can't keep going out and about like this. And Lawrence has a brilliant idea. And he goes, "It's a wig!" And he will storm out the door, run as fast as he can.
Jack won't go as fast as she can. Grateful she has a steady cam.
Behind Victor, will grab the wig and reef it off and go, "Aha! Imposter!" But the sudden shock and the sudden overcoming of this long battle of his, but it really looks like it's shock all due to Lawrence's actions. Victor collapses on the ground.
Dun dun dun.
Oops!
Quick call, and Jack grabs up a phone and starts to call 911.
Probably a good idea.
Yep.
Did you just kill a man by pulling his hair off?
It was no, it was he was. I mean, look. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but look at him. He was on his last legs. Because he fell down. Oh dear.
Oh, how am I going to edit this? Oh,
Yeah, we can reverse the footage. Then it looks like you saved a
By
man
gifting him
by
hair.
giving him hair. That's how science works. All right. So I'm assuming that also suggests that maybe he. Well, why was he keeping it a secret?
and we don't. It would be horrible if the shock is the thing that, and the cancer were what finished him off. But we don't know that for certain because we're not doctors.
No.
We're not.
You're not doctors.
Not even a little bit, no.
Well, interestingly, our next scene is going to involve Victor again, because I got a 5 of clubs. A witness sighting of him, or possibly by him, but usually of him.
By him might be rough now, unless he took notes.
So maybe later at the hospital. Who's leading this scene? This is a scene leading up with Jack.
Okay, and our word is neglect.
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 Ooh.
So
Right.
try she might. Jack doesn't manage to persuade the EMT that she's a relative who should be allowed to ride along with Victor in the ambulance, but she is, ambulance / coroner, which quickly turns into calling the coroner because after they determine yes, he is actually dead.
Oof.
But when the police show up, they are actually quite surprised, and it seems like they may have been investigating Victor for something else, but it's not clear.
Ooh.
They're unwilling to say. Jack puts the camera away and
Right.
switches to her hidden camera. And Lawrence, can you make nice with the cops here and see if they'll spill anything?
Of course, he'll walk up to the 2 police officers who've arrived and recognize them from his brief sojourn previously. Buddies, friends, pals. Wow.
The cops
Man, we
look
gotta
like
stop
they
meeting
sound
like this.
something that they've got on their shoe that stinks.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We were just at the club with the guy who's well, he's certainly not with us. Ooh.
We didn't kill him.
Of course we'd never think of killing anyone. I mean, he was sick. Sickness can take anyone at the best of times.
So you don't think about killing people. Yeah, we established that when you were waving a gun around.
Yeah, no. So a little bit of shock and intimidation, but never killing anyone. That's a bridge too far even for me. Ooh. But it's just because I've seen him before. He's like he's a car driver, man, isn't he? Like bit of a shock, you guys. You want him to be like fans or I don't know, undertaking some kind of special investigation into him that you couldn't reveal, but you're going to anyway.
And the cops are not so happy to discuss their affairs, but they will shoot the breeze about motorsports.
Well, of course.
So, Victor retired from racing about 5 years ago, and he did attempt to get into managing a team, but there were no owners that were willing to take him on.
Ew.
So, and yeah, he fell into a bad way. The not really taking care of himself. So there's a few celebrity shots of him looking very bedraggled around the town, like you know, like the kinds of ones that they Photoshop and claim that someone's on drugs.
Right.
And he was just, you know, chemo drugs.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we can. So as a result, we can look up all these TMZ type shots online that give us an idea of where he's been in the last couple of years.
Yep. And nowhere good. I think that's really
good.
And
Yeah.
ambition was perhaps to have one last moment in the spotlight before he died.
Or even just like his ambition was, you know, make sure he wanted to make sure his brothers was looked after, but maybe he just didn't want to be alone. So beautiful.
All right.
Which that they say never turn your back on family.
As I'll stab you. So we could have another quick interim scene about
maybe Lawrence goes too far with the cops. Maybe the cops want to issue him another warning.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, he's going on and sort of pushing and prodding and gets a little too close, and one of them cracks a little and will just push him up against the wall and casually remind him that, you know, you keep your distance, you shut up, you stay out of their way, and you'll be right. Push him away and they'll storm off. And you go, oh, Chad, did you catch all that, you know, unwarranted police brutality on camera?
I caught it. This is the blue line, isn't it?
That's what is this town coming to when a law-abiding, perfectly responsible citizen is just accosted like this?
You're not rich enough.
You're not wrong.
Nice. But it does point to maybe there's a little bit of danger addiction for poor old Lawrence.
Yes, and a growing sense of concern steadily being replaced with resignation from Jack.
All right. Next, as we move into the second act, after the second ad break.
Yep.
Ad break. After the third ad break, because there'd be one after the teaser. Emma has shown up. The young daughter of Howard Hayes, who is a local politician of some sort. And her alibi is also going to fail.
I guess, we're at the hospital at the moment with Victor.
Yep.
So I guess she's gone from the death of her father to the death of her uncle in a very short period of time.
Yes.
Mate, is she a local councillor, or is she a state politician? I wonder how that impacts her attitude to the circumstances.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, I guess, it's a family of relatively well-to-do celebrities. So a state politician,
okay,
give her an air of power and prestige as she comes in and has an escort with her. And is shocked, but we notice that Well, Lawrence can point out. "Oh, hang on, we were just where her dad died, and she wasn't there, and she's rushed to see her uncle rather quickly. That doesn't feel right, does it?"
Hmm.
No, no, it does not.
Her escort kick us all out of the room. Clear it, make it a nice private way. But like, I don't know, Jack, if you got like a sneaky listening device in your bag of tricks, you can, like a spy movie, like.
Jack clinks on the intercom for the room.
Nice.
Genius.
Yes, I have an amazing device. It's called this button.
This button that is clearly labeled, giant red sign pointing at it. No one else can miss it. So yeah, she's sad. She's crying, but we can listen in. Notice, she's not actually mentioning anything about her dad. She just seems to be mourning her uncle at this stage.
And and I think she's probably saying something like, I wish I'd been there.
Yeah.
And we can the politicians' diaries are normally a matter of public record, so we can look and see that she wasn't busy in the last couple of days. So there was obviously something non-politician-y that was taking up her time.
Interesting. All right. Let me cut the deck. And I get a 4 of clubs, which is record. No, hang on, let me check. It's other physical evidence again. And clubs brings us back to Victor.
Okay.
Right, so.
And
Okay.
a random word I have is petty.
Okay.
All right. All right. It's your scene, Jack.
So I think we'll skip forward a little while now to the funeral. It's a double funeral.
Yep.
And we can hear a lot more about the, like, it's pretty easy to insert yourself in. There are famous people, but there are equally a number of like just local folk. And the mood at the funeral is very much, isn't it strange how they died so close together? We never thought they were that close in life, but so is this synchronicity, or is most people seem to just put it down to it was their time? But Jack's feeling like there's got to be a connection here. There's a story here. She can smell it. What does Lawrence spy in the hubbub of reminiscences at the wake?
I suppose, going through the wake, people are talking, telling stories about the pair of them, and brings out he sees distant friend or family members, going through the photos, and points out that it's strange because she thought they got along really well, but looking through all the pictures, there's actually no pictures of them together. You know, pictures of Victor with Emma. You've got pictures of Howard with Emma, and you've got, both of them with different people, but it's actually kind of hard to see any of them together. Or maybe it's just because they were too busy to sort of connect too much. But Tom nearby is sort of walking past, and he'll sort of put a little jab in there and say, "Oh, maybe it's because I acted nice on the outside, but they were just as corrupt and horrible as to each other as Howard was in his businesses." And he'll spit on the ground and walk out of the room.
They've basically not been friends for a very long time.
So if Victor is the murderer, then it would have been, I can't stand that you will outlive me.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Or
even
it's, I think I'm running out of time. I'm scared to go by myself, so let's make sure I don't go by myself and someone goes with me.
Or maybe,
but he timed it horribly wrong.
Maybe he was trying to get, before I go, I'm going to get revenge for that thing you did. Revenge isn't quite the motive, but could be related. Ambition and revenge don't go together. Our next scene, though, it might even happen at the funeral, because Tom Peterson is there and he's going to confess something.
And the word for the confession is budget.
Budget. Because he's thrown his little sort of tantrum in there, and so Lawrence will storm off after him. It looks interesting. Things
Such a classy guy.
But when he gets outside, it's very clear that he is genuinely upset. And with all the tact he possesses, I'll just walk up and go, "Buddy, you look a little grim. I thought you ran like a comedy club. What's
this is a day. This is a day for dark comedy.
What? I think every day is, but what? I thought don't you run like a club against him? You guys wouldn't get along, would you? You were cranky inside. What you getting cut up for? Isn't the greatest obstacle to your own success finally out of the way? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
The thing you have to remember is that a giggle is better than a chuckle. A chuckle is where there's a little bit of a joke, and that's all you get. With a giggle, you can build on that. And you can get a big laugh. And I don't think he ever understood that.
No.
And I could get the axe that he'd have people on his stage and then he'd not sign them up. And they'd come over to me. Bless his heart. I had my own ways to get new acts, but he sent me a few over the years. Some really good ones did, Howard. So for that, I thank him.
Oh.
And he raises a toast.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a glass, but I've got this. What have I got in here? Oh, I've got one of Jack's lens caps. Sure. Cheers. She probably wants that back. I shouldn't scratch that too much, actually. But thanks for. Hope you feel better. Have a good chat. Thanks, but I'll go back in and mince about. And
Was there a confession there?
Well, yeah. So what he's saying is like, I think the confession there is him going like, he was angry inside before, but what he's pointing out
Yep.
here is that as much as they were rivals, he actually got along really well. That Howard sort of helped him out from time to time, even though he himself wasn't doing, the most
Yep.
respectful business practices. That Howard was just a genuinely stand-up guy, and it's sort of
Yep.
that's his confession is saying like he was a bit dodgy, but there was really nothing untowards with Howard.
Aha. Yes. Hard. It's easy to be angry at an honest man.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a straight man. I was the funny man.
All right. Is there a bubbling poison between our two partners about Jack's insistence on getting beaten up a lot? On Lawrence's insistence on getting beaten up and arrested. Is it going to express itself in some way?
I suppose like
I think my idea is that Jack finds out that Lawrence has made a cheap knockoff of a press pass and is trying to
yeah, so he like hasn't cracked it out yet, but it's so because he mentioned he like had one of her lens caps in the pocket, so he's gonna go back to return that. When he pulls it out, it's gonna knock out what is a like preschool craft equivalent of her pass. Like he's done his best, but he's not the most gifted artist.
Right.
But it's very clear what he's attempting from the.
Is that supposed to be you?
But no, it's I mean,
Where did you get this? Is this your booking photo?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because they give you one on the way out, and I just had to like cut off the bit where I was holding the plaque.
Nice.
You are many things, Lawrence, but you are not a journalist.
No, but I mean, like, you don't have to be a journalist. You just have to. I've seen how you work. Like, people open doors for you. Like, just imagine what I could do if people open doors for me instead of me having to run through them, huh? I'm just trying to take a more
even the spy
cerebral
agencies
approach.
Are wary of pretending to be press.
It's fine. Like, because I mean, like, when's the last time you heard of a member of the press getting arrested for waving a gun around?
Turkey.
No, actually, not that hungry at the moment. It's like I didn't see any on the table in there, but I had enough snacks at the wake.
The next time you get picked up by the police, are you planning to show them this?
Yeah. Well, what else is it for? Yeah. Well, I've met the cops here. They're not that bright.
That's a good point.
I'm very intimate with some of them, apparently.
Oh.
You see how they throw me up against the wall? Blood.
Oh, they only do that for the people they really like.
Yeah, it's pretty sure. Like, I mean, like, you have to have a certain level of charm.
Please, do not bring my profession into disrepute by flashing that badge.
But,
there aren't many things that are sacred in this world, but yeah.
I think you're just being a bit over the top. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Hey, look, probably won't even come up. Yeah. But like, I won't
give it to me.
Are you saying you don't trust me?
Yes.
Oh.
Not with this.
He'll hand it over, but he's sad.
Yep. If you don't trust him, then maybe you can't be partners anymore. Right.
Okay.
I think, well, it's
Have
beautiful
another
because
random one.
I love how our B plot is reflecting our A plot, because we've got brothers who have torn themselves apart and had a feud for all these years. But our next scene involves Emma and a slip of the tongue, and we'll be finding out the roots of her relationship with her father.
Okay. Maybe this will be. I think this might be also at the wake. I think it's Emma surrounded more by friends and other important people that she's known for a long while, was let down her guard and dismissed her aid and knocking back the champagne. Well, maybe you don't have champagne at a wake. What would you have?
I mean, it depends on
If you might have spirits.
Maybe spirits.
It could be in a bar.
Yeah. And
or wine.
Yeah. So there seems to be an opportunity for Jack and Lawrence to kind of come in, like do the condolences, and very, very sorry about your father, and I think that she'll probably say something like, "Yeah, the cancer."
Sort of.
Oh, right.
What?
Dum dum dum.
Lady, in your grief, I think you've become a little confused. See, allow me to break it down for you. Your father died choking to death on a seed from a peach, apparently. It's your uncle, not your father. I know you can get confused. One of them choked, bluish, little swollen, puffy. The other gaunt and ghostly and bald. He's your uncle. He's your father's brother.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Yeah. Sure. Who am I?
Knocks back another to cover her embarrassment.
It's gone completely over Lawrence's head, but surely someone a little more perceptive will have noticed what was said. Dun dun dun.
Alright, well, our next scene involves Tom again. So we're going to find out the roots of that relationship. So there's a lot coming out in this final few scenes. We've got two brothers who hated each other, but who really is the murderer? And it was other records that aren't financial or phone records. Ownership records, comedy records.
That would be wonderful if we could find a way to that. The word is describe. Over to you, Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm just thinking so. All right, so I guess we wrap up at the funeral, and there's a show being put on at the Giggle Pit, which is sort of meant to commemorate whatever's going on over at the other one at the
Chuckle
Hut. Whatever's going on at the Chuckle Hut, keep people entertained, and Tom will do his best to capitalize on this. So we'll go along just to see how it goes, and notice that there's someone in a suit, seems kind of out of place, seems to be hanging near the edges, keeps looking over at Tom and sort of gesturing. He comes over and saddling up. nice and close. Lawrence is trying to listen. It sounds like what's going on is they're talking about like arranging something,
Hmm.
and Lawrence can see that they pass a piece of paper. He doesn't get a great look at it, but he's pretty sure. He'll run over to Jack and let him know. Jack, I don't like over the, like those you can see them. Those two guys over there, they're talking about arranging things. So I'm swap it to me. Pretty sure it was a contract of some kind. It had like big words at the top and then like little words in the middle and then some lines down the bottom. Yeah, like because why else would you have lines down the bottom? Do you think maybe like? I don't know, do you think maybe Tom's trying to like sign on the acts
Ah.
or like
Hmm.
buy out the club or you know maybe there's something sus going on here. Wink, wink.
Right.
Okay, so hmm.
So something was being arranged there.
Yeah. And Jack's gonna dive right in with a camera, flashing her press pass. Mr. Peterson, how do you feel about your latest acquisition?
Here's what Ackwards. We and the other man will attempt to scoot away, but Lawrence is behind him to gently push his chair back in.
And
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is a charity event to raise money to, support the Chuckle Hut and its new owners, whoever they might be. Not that I would know.
Mm.
And you see he's trying to stuff like the piece of paper in his back pocket as subtly as he can.
Right.
Okay.
Our
I
last-
think.
Oh, yep. So good.
I was going to say, I think before he puts it in the pocket, Jack spots the detail 51% on it.
Ooh, that's good. Yep. Control of the Chuckle Hut is at stake. All right. Our final card was other records, and was it Emma? Was it Tom? What were they all planning at? Was it Victor? But in fact, I drew a heart, which is LaShawn.
Oh.
What's she gonna do? Poison fruit? Fruit. Ooh.
So now, if you want, she could have killed Victor, and Victor could have been the killer of someone else. But as it stands, LaShawn is being identified as the killer of Howard. Victor might have hated his brother and wanted to kill him, but somebody else did first.
I guess, as he's packing the records away, trying to hide the document that Jack had seen the 51% on. Lawrence has a brief moment of perfect acuity and also manages to see a name under the 51%, and it's not Tom like you would think it was. The person who seems to be the majority owner now is LaShawn. Why would she do something like take over the club? So he wants to. He's going to die. Lawrence is going to dive forward and reef the paper out, knocking Tom over in the process, and say, "Jack, quick, take it, run! I'll hold them off."
And
slap fight.
Jack,
security guard rapidly.
Jack
approaching.
jumps up on the stage and says, "Did you hear the one about the two comedy club owners?"
Ah.
So the crowd rapt, looking up in amazement. This is all bizarre. Security are trying to make their way through the crowd, who are not moving out of the way,
And
to get to Lawrence, who's
sweeping the camera across the
fists up, ready to go.
across the audience. They were in cahoots.
The audience is waiting for a joke. Though there seems to be a woman up the back who's slowly edging towards the door.
Isn't that right, LaShawn?
Spotlight.
Boom!
Picks her out.
As she'll freeze, deer in the headlights.
You couldn't stand that, despite you being the majority owner of the Chuckle Hut, Howard was the one that vetted all the new acts. You could have turned away those young men and women, but he wasn't strong enough. And your jealousy, your loyalty to the club over him,
and she'll
is
sort of
what
is
what led you to this.
You don't understand. Like, it was never meant to be his club. He only got into it because his brother used racing money to buy parts of it out from me when I needed it, and I clawed back what was mine, but no one wanted to listen to me. They all everyone was just obsessed.
But Tom
with
listened
him.
to you, didn't he? Second spotlight.
Dunk.
Tom's the only man who knows how to run a business in this town. Like, you can't just do favors for your friends and put anyone up there. You need to be cutthroat. And Tom's, well, I don't know this lady. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He's like, I never did anything. She was the crazy one. She was the one who killed him.
Oh, those notes, they must have really stuck in your craw.
Yeah.
And so you killed him in a way that he understood the significance of. You killed him with the sign of your own relationship.
Dun dun dun. Too poetic. I guess she wanted to be. She was always thinking about metaphors and mysterious and things like that. So she hated Howard because he kept putting himself in front of the club and in front of business and his endless rivalry with his brother when he should have been focusing on making money.
And so, Victor maybe did have some plans, but we'll never know because he's gone now.
Maybe Emma finds some letter of apology that her father was writing to her uncle. And that's why he was actually close by. He was trying to deliver an apology letter about burying the hatchet and not dying with all their anger on between them still.
But
does that? Of course, that has nothing to do at all with the fight that you guys had earlier this episode.
It's in the wrap up, and everyone's sort of turning to look at the spotlights as they do. They gave the security the opening they need to absolutely pummel Lawrence. What with him tackling the club owner and knocking him to the ground.
I imagine that there's someone in security who's an off-duty policeman, and
nice.
And they decide that there's enough here to take LaShawn in for questioning.
Yeah. And so, they mentioned to her, you're under arrest, and you, pointing at Lawrence, you're on your last warning. We come for you again, you're not getting out. As I'll escort away, he will limp on over to Jack and see. Always turns out all right for me in the end. Ow.
Nice.
You are not a cat, Lawrence. You only got 3 lives.
One of these
there.
days. Yeah. One of these days your luck is going to run out.
But
we
not today.
Yeah. I'm thinking about a 6-episode series, so
3 more.
we'll,
We're at the halfway
see how
point.
that was episode
Ooh.
4.
We're
actually.
past. Oh yeah. Oh, because
So-
yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
And
We might try 7, we'll see. But yeah,
And that was
we can
the
now.
end.
We've got that's a nice turning point, a tilting point that things are getting a little bit out of control.
that was
So
the
we can
episode
build
that
on
I
that.
suggest we call "Send in the Clowns."
Oh.
Very nice. Yep. Da, 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 da. Awesome. All right, fantastic. We'll see you all next week for another exciting episode of Partners Expose. Thank you once again to our glorious partners, Jackie and Lawrence, played by Peter and Ryan.
Howdy.
And
No worries.
say goodbye, guys.
Toodles.
Good night.
Good night. And I